Everybody, Bryan Alvarez here on Wrestling Observer Live. We are here every day, Monday through Friday, noon Pacific 3 Eastern, Sundays 3 Pacific 6 Eastern. It is January 2nd, the first Observer Live of 2024. And we got a big one today. So much news over the last couple of days. And we have 1,000 shows coming up. I said that on this show and not Observer Radio because Dave would correct me. There are not actually 1,000 shows coming up. But it seems like it. We've got Tokyo Domes and New Year's Evil shows and big SmackDown events and New Year's Dash and Hard to Kill, a big Raw Monday. There's so much stuff to talk about here today. And, of course, the Day 1 episode of Raw was yesterday. And there was a meeting for the show with Triple H talking about various things. Although mostly the end of Kevin Dunn, which we'll talk about here today. Injuries on Raw, injuries in Japan, lineups for shows over the next couple of days, new commentary teams for WWE. Sami Zayn, injured on the house show circuit, as they like to call it. Believe it or not, we got a Battle of the Belts in less than 2 weeks. Were you aware of that? Well, we do. I'll tell you about that show. And the former Velveteen Dream has issued an apology, although he did not say for what at any point during the apology. Conor McGregor is coming back, and plenty more. You know who's not back today? Mike Sempervive. That's right. But he will be replaced by a man who was supposed to be here yesterday, but apparently he had better things to do. Filthy Tom Lawler will be joining us on the program here today. That's coming up in the next segment. If you want to text us today about whatever's on your mind, 425-780-7566. That is 425-780-7566. F4W Online at gmail.com. F4W Online on Threads. F4W Online on Instagram, F4W Online on Cameo, and, of course, at Bryan Alvarez on Twitter. Back in a moment, Observer Live.
There's 1, 2. Now he's got Bryan Alvarez. He whips him into the corner hard. Adam Firestorm following up, catches a boot to the face. Bryan Alvarez with another hard shot to the head. 1, 2. This is the most aggressive I've seen Bryan Alvarez today here in Portland Wrestling. Now he's got his knee across the throat. He's choking him, LC.
Well, it's like this week Alvarez has something to prove, brother. Something to prove to his sweet little lady over there.
Of course, Adam Firestorm with a big win over Black Dragon last week. Looking for another one here. There's a sunset flip. Is he going to go down? Yes, he is. Over he goes. 1, 2, 3. It is all over. Adam Firestorm with the victory over beautiful Bryan Alvarez here in Portland Wrestling. Now out Bryan Alvarez firing away with a boot. Action continues after the bell. Goes for the back body drop. No! Face first plant by Adam Firestorm. Your winner once, looks like he'll be your winner twice. Action continues. There's a whip into the far corner. Adam Firestorm follows with a spinning kick. LC, I think Bryan Alvarez has bit off more than he could chew tonight. Miss Rentone really disgusted over in the corner. Adam Firestorm not done. There's a lion sold on top. He hooks him again. 1, 2. 2.5. I thought we had a 3 count earlier in this match, LC. I was wrong. I'm sorry.
I can't believe it. I thought Youth Gone Wild was just adding a little salt to the wound. I thought Alvarez was Alvarez and a 2-time loser, brother.
Well, Mark Watson's hand must have stopped just short of the 3 count. And these eyes of mine need glasses, because I thought I saw a 3 count. Bryan Alvarez going up top.
Oh, well, forget about your cataracts, brother. Up and over he goes.
Nobody home. Adam Firestorm back in control, playing a bit of possum. He's climbing up top. Is Rento and Otto really upset? There he goes. Swap.
Oh, and that one hit.
There's a hook the leg. 1, 2, 3. Now it's all over.
A 2-time loser. And does the LC have to look after Miss Rento and Otto tonight, baby?
There's Adam Firestorm, your winner in this match. Once, twice, 3 times, it didn't matter. Bryan Alvarez not up to it. Miss Rento and Otto absolutely disgusted with it. Mark Watson explaining to him it was a 3 count this time. No hook the leg. Fair and square, Adam Firestorm, your winner here on Portland Wrestling. Fans will be right back with after a message from our sponsors.
Bryan Alvarez here, Wrestling Observer Live. Mike Sempervive, also of WrestlingObserver.com. He's not here, but Tom is. Filthy Tom Lawler is joining us here today. What's up, Tom?
Also of, what am I of?
WrestlingObserver.com. And
is it?
I don't know.
Filthy Figure 4.
Filthy 4 Daily.
Figure 4 Wrestling Online.
How was your New Year's, Tom?
I don't celebrate.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
You only celebrate and drink too much and vomit on my couch during the Christmas show, is that right?
Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Christmas, Festivus. I'll celebrate all of those, but the New Year, not for me.
Well,
it's the same old, Brian. Business as usual.
It's not the same old in wrestling.
Yeah. It's insanity always, so it is the same old.
Let's talk about the big story here today. Yesterday, actually it was over the weekend, Triple H said there would be a former WWE champion would be making an appearance on Raw. And if you watch the AEW pay-per-view, of course, Andrade, he was had his last match. He's out, probably heading to WWE at any time. And a lot of people thought it might be Andrade. But, given that Andrade's contract didn't expire until Saturday, for Triple H to be saying prior to it expiring that we've got a WWE champion on the show and it's Andrade, I mean, that would kind of reek of tampering, but it wasn't him anyway. So they do a segment, and out comes, of all people, your main man, Tom Jinder. We can't hinder Jinder. Remember that?
He was chopping it up on the mic.
Do you remember when Jinder was awesome, but we didn't get it? And he was so great, and we weren't supposed to hinder Jinder. And you remember that? I do. I remember that. But anyway, he comes out, and nobody cares. And so he does that deal that they do where, well, he's gonna get some heat, and then when it's run its course, he's gonna go 5 more minutes. So you're absolutely and you get that droning from the crowd, all right, should we go get concessions now or what? Because this totally sucks. And that's when they hit The Rock's music. And it's actually very clever because right before they hit the music, they got a crowd shot and then they hit the music. So you saw all these people get caught completely off guard and they just lost it for The Rock.
Brian, it's very similar to a match structure where you have to set up the comeback.
Well, they sure did.
Right.
Yeah, you really got to set up
a
a comeback for is The Rock. He might not have got a pop otherwise. So anyway, he comes back and place goes nuts and he does his usual, whatever with Jinder. And then they get a quick brawl. He beats him up, rock bottom. And then he says, I love you, San Diego. And I'm going to go out to get something to eat after this. Should The Rock sit in a booth? I thought, my God, he's reciting Dr. Seuss. Should The Rock sit at the bar? Or he says, should Rock sit at the head of the table? Place goes nuts. And then he leaves. So, obviously, Vince is still in WWE, but, he ain't got much power anymore. And his main man, Kevin Dunn, he's gone.
Done.
Dunn's done. Yeah, speaking of Dr. Seuss. And, if Vince were in charge of all creative, then there's no way that Rock comes out and makes that tease if they're not signed, sealed, and delivered for WrestleMania. But, Vince is, he's there, but, Triple H is in charge, so I don't know what this guy thinks. But, I watched it and I thought, well, Rock has at least verbally agreed to WrestleMania. I don't know if it's signed, sealed, and delivered. And I've said for years now that I don't think that Rock is ever going to have another match. But he may be trying to prove me wrong here. Now, this brings up a lot of questions. All right.
Does it?
If it is Rock and Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, and they've spent a full year building up Cody finishing his story, well, now what? Because the one thing you could say about Triple H is he comes up with a plan and he sticks to his plan, even if there's a plan that may be better. Sami Zayn, he could have won an Elimination Chamber or, whatever. And listen, I'm going to say this again because I've said this before. I'm not saying I'm reporting this, but I'm telling you what I believe, okay? This is what I believe. I don't know if it's true. Maybe someday we'll find out. But I'm going to tell you what I believe. Are you ready for this? I believe that Cody Rhodes was supposed to beat Roman Reigns at WrestleMania this year. And I believe that Vince sauntered in that weekend. Because remember, that was the weekend he came back. And he said, no. Rock's going over. Because if Roman's going over. Because if you look at the booking of WWE from that point forward throughout the summer, there was no reason that Roman Reigns needed to be champion. He was doing tag team feuds. He was doing feuds with the Usos. He didn't need to be champion at all. And, they were like, I think it was Paul Heyman goes, well, there's a lot of criticism, but what would Cody have done if he would have just won the title? I was like, a feud with Brock Lesnar. That's literally what they went to right afterwards. If you look at what they did with Roman and what they did with Cody, what makes the most sense in hindsight is that Cody was supposed to win the title and his first major feud would be with Brock. and Roman would have lost the title and gone on to a feud with the Usos. So I think Vince sauntered his way in and changed the plans the day of the show. And so then, Hunter's like, all right, well, I'll do it next year. And now here we are, Rock steps in, and Rock's, probably going to be in the main event of WrestleMania. Now, I know I'm taking up all your time, Tom, but I got more. So yesterday, people were like, well, how come no one's talking about Rock maybe doing Elimination Chamber? There's a big show coming up in Australia. Do you realize that when Rock was like 8, he was reading the Wrestling Observer newsletter, and, he's been a diehard fan, and, after he left wrestling and went into movies and everything, he followed this thing as close. I mean, you're telling me that you think that The Rock's last match ever is going to be at 10 o'clock in the morning Pacific in Australia. Are you kidding me? If this guy's coming back, it's WrestleMania. So what I think needs to happen is Roman he's got to wrestle twice, brother. Sorry, but you got to do night 1 against The Rock, and the winner of that match faces the winner of the Royal Rumble or whatever you do with Cody, and that's night 2 of WrestleMania. That's the way this thing has got to be done. Because Cody Rhodes lost, but they pushed him like crazy, and he was the top guy because Roman was never around all year afterwards. And Dave even says this guy should be the MVP. So to have him lose last year and then go on and not win again this year, horrible idea. So that's what's going to happen this year. Take it to the bank. I see the chat's all mocking me, but take it to the bank, kids. That's what's going to happen. What are your thoughts, Tom?
I believe that would be the best case scenario for everyone involved. We finally get the payoff, the long-awaited payoff to Roman Reigns and The Rock, which has been teased for years, for like 10 years now.
Yeah.
Right? People have been waiting for this match. We get the payoff to that. The Rock gets a big send-off in the city of brotherly love. His final match, which I would also believe would coincide somewhere along the lines of the debut of the UFL Football League this spring. So you could have some synergy and a little tie-in, perhaps some incentive for The Rock to get out there and show off his physical prowess. And then the next night, you have the 2-time Royal Rumble winner, Cody Rhodes, step out there, defeat Roman Reigns, the man fresh off a win over The Rock. And we have President Cody Rhodes take us into election season as the champ.
Actually, when Rock came out to defend America against Jinder, I thought he was going to announce he was going for presidency. Instead, it's like a match. Back in a moment, Observer Live.
Jacob, I do want to ask you, because we're talking about pro wrestling, and one of the best pro wrestling storylines that has been going on, like the last year and a half. Okay. You know where I'm going? It's the Bloodline. I want to get your thoughts on what Roman Reigns is doing, the Usos, Solo, you name it.
Man, they've been in there putting in work. I mean, we're talking about 3 years straight with the storyline. But I'm a fan overall. I'm a fan, and the crazy thing is, just because I'm related to them, when I watch, I think I know what's going on. Then they always hit us with that twist. So overall, man, they're doing good. Shout out to the Bloodline. Shout out to Us and them. You know, Fatu's, Anawai's, we're really all one family. But I'm excited. I'm a fan. At the end of the day, I'm like this, though, watching, barbecuing at my house. So it's real good to see, real good to see.
So I'm curious, do you think we're ever going to see Jacob Fatu creep up in that storyline? You think it's happening?
In due time. In due time. I mean, it could be there. It could be anywhere. It could be anywhere. But in due time, man, like I said, leave it in God's hands. And if it happens, it happens. If it don't, I'll still be watching them like this. You know what I'm saying? So overall, very, very proud of my family. Very proud of Solo, what he's done. Very proud of the twins. Very proud of Roman. Just very proud of my family, period. You know, that's it, Mike.
What's been your favorite moment for them, whether it be for Roman Reigns, whether it be for the Usos, for Solo?
It was WrestleMania, Saturday and Sunday, to see their main event You know, when I seen Solo walk out with Roman, like getting goosebumps, like just tears in my eyes, man. Just seeing the main event. That was the highlight, like for me, seeing them. Not only that, it happened in California, in LA, so it was good, man. It was real good. I'm about to cry right now talking about them right now. But shout out to the boys, though, Us.
Is it easy to stay in touch, obviously being like a big family? Like, are you guys make sure you're on the road, they're on the road?
Absolutely, yeah. Like, you know, they'll tap in, tell me like the do's, the don'ts, you know. But we've always been close, way before wrestling, you know. They was shooting me with a paint gun back in the day, you know. But overall, yeah, man, like we're really family orientated. We really are. So shout out to Tran too, Sister Tran over there at TNA. So yeah, man, we're very family orientated, and there's a reason why the Samoan dynasty has lasted like this, because we really tap in and we function with each other, you know. So, and shout out to all 7 of my kids out there and my beautiful wife. I wrestled with the ring on today. Just trying to throw it out. Trying to get some brownie points right now, you know, so.
I was going to say 7 kids. What is that like, man?
It's a life changer. Keeps me on my toes. That's probably why I'm so light in the ring, you know, so. But overall, man, no, it's been good. It's really been good, and I couldn't be no happier, you know.
Oh my God, I love it. Jacob Fatu, I gotta tell you, I've appreciated chatting with you. You're like the coolest dude. I've been waiting for this interview, so thank you so much. I appreciate you, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.
Hello.
I don't want to spend too much time on this, but the chat's killing me here. What is the angle to get the champion wrestling back-to-back? What sense does it make in storyline? Bros, listen. This is not an issue of can we make the storyline make sense. This is a business issue. Your number one business mover when Roman Reigns was gone for most of the year was Cody. Okay? Spending a year building up Cody, finishing the story, and not doing it is stupid business. Having The Rock challenge Roman Reigns and not doing it at WrestleMania is stupid business. Smart business is to finish a year-long story and finish the story with Cody, and smart business is The Rock main eventing WrestleMania against Roman Reigns. So, I don't care how in storyline you do it. It doesn't matter. We're arguing about WWE storylines making logical sense. You can figure it out. But you need to figure out what to do for business reasons to not kill Cody and to not waste the final match of The Rock. Why is this so hard? Why are we talking about how to book it?
Brian.
Yes.
Talking about a story. A story for years and years and years has been that Roman Reigns, the champion, the clear number one guy in the company, gets irate whenever somebody challenges his status, not as the champion, but as the head of the table. So now The Rock, the one man who's arguably a bigger star than Roman Reigns in the eyes of his own family, comes back and says he wants to be the head of the table. Why wouldn't Roman Reigns want to fight this guy? Why wouldn't Roman Reigns show the same level of arrogance that he showed for years and years and say he could beat The Rock on night 1, say he could beat Cody Rhodes on night 2, because really he has no choice if Cody wins the Royal Rumble. Like you said, this isn't that hard.
No, it's not that hard. Tom and I could come up with 50 ideas in the next 5 minutes. But I got too much other news.
Sometimes the easiest thing, the most simple thing is the best. And in this case, that's all that it is. Both guys want to be the head of the table. They're both big stars.
Yes. Hey, the Raw show, which
title versus career
review in the next segment, was the first Raw without Kevin Dunn. He's gone. And Triple H did a talent meeting and basically said, he's gone. We wanted him to stay through Mania, but he's gone. And now you can already see that there are things that have changed on the show. they open the show with the announcers in the ring, like building up the card and hyping up the crowd and get everybody excited. And the biggest change is tons of video packages and recap segments. And obviously some of that was because, they took a week off and they're hoping that New Year, some new people will tune in. Let's bring them up to speed on all these storylines. But the other thing is, if you watch NXT, I know a lot of you watch NXT. Okay, whether you hate NXT or not, there is one thing that they've been doing for the last several years, and that is everything that they can to build up the personalities, okay? You may not like the show, but if you watch the show for a month, you understand everybody's character for the most part. There's the Virgin, the Fornicator, Fallon owns a bar, there's Chase U. They have all sorts of video packages and personality profiles, and that was all something that Triple H had done in the original NXT. And, he's going to be bringing all that to the main roster. So, we saw it last night. There was the Caden video package, Caden and Katana. There was the Ivy Nile video package telling you more about her. There's going to be a lot more of that, and there's going to be a lot of other recap packages to bring you up to speed, and that's the way that Hunter views wrestling. And Kevin Dunn and Vince, they didn't want to do stuff like that. People will turn the channel, switch to Nitro, even though Nitro had been off the air for 15 years. But you could see it last night. It's begun. The post-Dunn Raw. Yes.
You know what you get before every single fight in that UFC? You get a video package.
Yeah.
Talking about the guys and the fight. It's a very simple way to get the crowd at home and the live crowd more invested in the people. At first, you might go, people are going to change the channel, but I think in the long run, it'll pay off.
We'll talk about some other injuries when we review the show. Kota Ibushi injured following his match, Noah New Year 2024. He beat Naomichi Marufuji with a Kamigoye, but then he collapsed backstage. He had injured both ankles early in the match, was in severe pain, did not speak with the media, and he's this poor guy. He is in rough shape. And I heard the match was not very good, which probably wouldn't be if he injured both of his ankles early in the match. So best wishes to Ibushi. One thing after another with him. We got new commentary teams. Michael Cole will be only on Raw. Both shows two-person commentary teams. It looks like, what's it say here? Well, obviously it's Cole and Wade Barrett. And I guess I guess the question is, who's going to be on SmackDown?
Okay, it would be Kevin Patrick.
And Corey?
And Corey Graves. Right. Or maybe Road Dogg will come back.
Actually, you know what?
Random 1 week stint.
Hey, Kevin Dunn's gone. Guess who's back on the road? Road Dogg. Hunter's bringing all his guys in. So, yeah.
Amazing. Just the quick turnarounds that we have. The crazy stuff that goes on in American wrestling, Japanese wrestling. It seems like Mexico is the only place, although I'm sure there's plenty of crazy stuff going on down there.
Are you kidding?
I know.
Are you kidding? There's so much crazy stuff. Battle of the Belts 9 will be taking place in 2 weeks. January 13, 2024, that's Saturday, immediately following Collision. And, yeah.
Anything announced?
Nothing. You know what needs to be done? You ready for this? A belt needs to change hands. We've had 9 Battle of the Belts, and the title has only changed hands 2 times. And actually, one of them was because the title had been stripped and we were crowning a new champion. So, I think that we're at the point where you announce Battle of the Belts and absolutely nobody cares because, there's not going to be a title change. So I think they need to start establishing, maybe not on every single one, but I don't think you should ever go more than 2 Battle of the Belts without a title change of some sort. Because otherwise, what's the point? Like, change some titles on Battle of the Belts. There's belts defended on every single show. Every show has a title defended. Some sort, it seems.
I'd love to see Eddie Kingston lose one of those 3 Triple Crown belts.
Oh, what? The strong open weight to you?
Yeah.
Come on.
Fantastic idea.
Are you going to watch the Dome live tomorrow?
I'm usually asleep at that time.
Well, I mean, we all are. But, I mean, are you going to watch it? What are you looking forward to? Okada Danielson? Ospreay, Moxley, and Finlay? Yuya Uemura and Yota Tsuji? That should be the main event for the title is what it should be.
Zack Sabre Jr. against the Prez.
Yeah, he better work.
Hiroshi
He better work
Tanahashi.
light. Tanahashi's the president now. How is Zack Sabre Jr.? You work light or is he kind of snug?
Excuse me?
He's
Is this a real question?
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. He's got a reputation.
Really?
Yeah. Let me say
Did he try that with you? Because you got a reputation.
of being light.
No,
and
being a
fluffy
former UFC
and-
fighter, so don't
and
mess
airy.
with you.
He's one of the harder hitting guys out there.
Really?
Yeah.
Man.
Maybe he's just trying to get me back for all those times you called him chicken chest
Could be.
on air.
Could be. I hadn't thought of that. Well, did you give it back? Did you give him a receipt?
No, I cowered in fear.
I didn't ask if you cowered in fear. I asked if you
Bryan.
gave it back.
Of course.
Hey, you know who hit me as hard as they could? It was those tiny little Bang Bros. But I didn't retaliate. I got punched so hard. Right in the head. I thought the guy broke his fist. I don't know what he did, but he goes, bam! Right in my, like, whatever this is, your forehead.
Sounds like exactly.
Yeah.
You know exactly what he did, actually.
Yeah. Golly. That's why I decided I was done. I quit.
They were cease and desisted, by the way. You can't call them that anymore.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Matthews and Bang.
But see, can't they change their name? Yeah, that's the other thing. They're not either. Their last name, both of them should have been Bang. Otherwise, they're not brothers, right?
No, they're bros.
Oh, they're bros.
Yeah.
Well, they should have changed their name to Bang.
They're like the who is it? The Island Boys or whoever those kids were.
If they had both changed their last name to Bang, then how could they not be the Bang brothers? You can't cease and desist that. They're the brothers Bang. Right?
I thought you said we had a big news day.
Well, we did, but I mean, who cares about the return of Conor McGregor?
Michael Chandler does, I'll tell you that much.
I'm sure he does. That guy's going to be rich.
International Fight Week, 6/29 apparently.
Hey, we'll be back with the Raw Report and more. Observer Live. Joe, Bryan Alvarez here, Wrestling Observer Live. The stories I hear during the break from Tom. Hey, couple notes. Tonight is NXT, should mention. They've got a big show. It is New Year's Evil. The big Ilya Dragunov, Trick Williams match for the NXT title. And the specter of Carmelo Hayes hovers over this match. The last time these guys had a match, it was great. It's the best match of Trick Williams' career by miles. So it should be great tonight. We got Lyra against Blair Davenport for the women's title. We have Tiffany Stratton and Fallon Henley. The loser must become the winner's servant for 24 hours. What a waste. Yeah. Should be like a month, at least. There's so many. I mean, come on. This is NXT. You can't come up with a month of storylines for Tiffany Stratton cleaning out the stables and, tending bar. I mean, there's so much.
Oh, Tiffany Stratton's winning that match.
No.
She got squashed weeks ago on the last big show that they had.
Who cares about Fallon becoming Tiffany? What's she going to do? Like carry her bags at the department store?
Yeah, she's going to get her nails done.
Lame.
She's going to go play tennis with Daddy again.
They should actually do that and they become friends. Like, God, that was a lot of fun getting my nails done.
Yeah. Oh, it's better than playing in the horse stable.
Oba Femi and Riley Osborne, NXT men's breakout tournament finale.
What'd you call me?
And Ariana Grace and Roxanne Perez. So it was supposed to be Dragon Lee, Joaquin, and Cruz del Toro versus Drew Gulak, Charlie Dempsey, and Damon Kemp. But at this point, Dragon Lee still can't get back into the country. He's got to get his visa renewed. It probably won't be done until this weekend. So it'll be a mystery partner.
Well, Charlie Dempsey is also
in
not
Japan. Charlie Dempsey, yes. It's on the Charlie Dempsey on the front page, but it's not going to be him. It'll be Miles Bourne. But anyway, the replacement, I believe, is going to be Carlito. So I know some people have thought Andrade, which actually would have been really cool, but I don't think Andrade is making his big return on NXT. And then tomorrow it's Orange Cassidy, Dante Martin, and the debut of Mariah May in the ring. And maybe another debut as well. I guess we'll have to wait and see. I will just say that people definitely do think there's a good chance that Mercedes is going to be on the show tomorrow. So, find out if she is or not. Raw report. Becky Lynch and Nia Jax. Did you watch this show, Tom?
Yes, I watched the Hulu version.
All right. Well, tell me what they didn't include on Hulu. So Becky faced Nia, and it was a very good match. And I was like, I don't know about this. Who cares? But it ended up being a very good match. And the big spot at the end is Becky tries a spot. Nia punches her in the face. They did the face breaker.
It was awesome, though.
They had the blood capsule, and Becky's bleeding everywhere. There's another change. And she ends up getting sat on and pinned. Clean in the middle. Nia beat her clean in the middle. So my presumption is that Becky wins the Rumble, Rhea and Nia at Royal Rumble, Becky beats Nia at Elimination Chamber, and Becky faces Rhea at WrestleMania. I think that's where they're going.
I agree.
Thanks, Tom. Appreciate it. They recapped the American Nightmare Before Christmas, the one where Shinsuke rhymed nitwit with inbred. I was so aghast when I heard that. Like, this guy's sending like poems to the granny show? Because that's horrible. Cody did a promo. Nakamura basically told him, I will finish your story and close your book next week. So I guess that's the big blow-off match is next week. We had Kofi and Jey Uso against Vinci and Kaiser.
This did not make the Hulu cut.
Okay, well.
For reasons that I am aware of.
Yeah, Giovanni goes for a springboard high cross, and Kofi frickin' booted this guy right in the face, and that was the end of him. And the referee stopped it. The doctor's in the ring. They checked on Vinci. Vinci later said that he was fine, but they did stop the match, and then they actually announced Kofi and Jey the winners via referee stoppage. Which, I mean, that's what happened. That is what happened.
I mean, is Ridge going to come out tonight on New Year's Evil and lay claim to defeating Ilya Dragunov?
I don't know what they're doing
weeks
with him.
ago,
yeah,
right?
Where is this guy? He should be back tonight. He should be back tonight angry. Like, you made me feel so bad, and then you're fine? Got an Ivy Nile video package, which was good. We got the worst thing on the show. It was total old school WWE. Miz TV with Judgment Day, but Truth comes out. And to be fair, like, he did win a match. He is technically supposed to be in Judgment Day. But then they announce it is Miz and Truth versus JD and Dom. And then, Truth acts like, well, I should be on the Judgment Day team. So he's trying to tag into JD and Dom, even though, Miz is his partner. And then finally, Dom's like, all right, you want to be on the team? Fine, punch your partner. So he goes to punch his partner, but he accidentally hits he accidentally hits JD. Miz hits JD with the skull-crushing finale, pins him. A dumb segment. Like, minutes on end of my life I'll never, ever get back. That was bitter. Kane and Katana video package.
Crowd like the Miz.
Yeah, great. Chelsea and Piper showed up. They're doing a rematch next week. You're such a troll.
They did.
You're an incredible troll. Well, what, do you think they're going to love Dom? Of course they cheered the Miz. What, they're going to get behind J.D. McDonald's? No? I wonder if Jay White's ever punched him. Rhea and Ivy for the women's title. I thought Ivy did a great job. And really, there was one botched spot in this match. And I think it was Rhea's fault. Because they did an over-under spot in the corner. And it got botched. And then they were like doing something in the corner. And Rhea apologized to her. So I think Rhea's timing was off. So Ivy, she's an NXT product. Most of her matches, I'm sure they spent a week practicing before getting on TV. This one was live. I presume they didn't spend a week going over it. I thought she did an excellent job in this match. And the fans didn't believe she could win, but they did get into it. They chanted, "This is awesome." They chanted, "Let's go, Ivy." And Rhea ends up headbutting her out of midair. Riptide pins her. It was a good match. Good showing by Ivy.
The headbutt at the finish was sick.
Yeah.
And like we talked about earlier, I think that you can attribute a good portion of the crowd getting behind Ivy Nile to the work that they did behind the scenes with her in the show leading up to the match. Because we had a vignette of her doing dips off the arm of one of the Creeds as the Creed brothers and the Alpha Academy sat there cheering her on. Which, by the way, if I was working out, I would absolutely hate to have them sitting there yelling at me backstage. And then they showed a video package of her. So I enjoyed the match. I enjoyed both of the women's matches on this show. I thought they were both very good.
We had the Jinder Rock segment, which went very long. And so Zoe and Shayna versus Natty and Tegan, number one contenders match. Totally rushed. No heat. It's like they had to follow The Rock. Zoe hit the Z360 on Tegan, got the pin. So it looks like they'll face the winners of the rematch for the tag titles that's taking place next week on Raw. And then the main event was Seth and Drew McIntyre for the world title, which was a very good match. Went through 2 commercial breaks, got a lot of time. And finally, Drew kicked out of the pedigree. Judgment Day's music hits. The referee is distracted. JD clonks Seth behind the referee's back. And Priest decides now's the time to cash in.
Priest hit him with the briefcase.
Well, I thought it was JD.
No, Priest hit Rollins with the briefcase.
All right, somebody here confirm, because I think Tom's got fake news.
No.
I think it's false information.
No, somebody went with the ref. They took the other ref to cash in. Priest nailed him with the briefcase. And then Priest got hit with a Claymore by Drew McIntyre.
Drew starts taking out all the heels and gets a big babyface pop.
Well, this guy's 6'8", 300 pounds of muscle. He's flying around like a whirling dervish. How can you not cheer him on?
Okay, so the chat has confirmed that I was right. JD was not out there. It was only Dom and Damien. So it was Damien that hit him with that briefcase.
Shut up!
So then Seth hits a stomp, and he goes for the cover, but the foot's on the ropes. He pulls back what a noob. He pulls back so deep that he puts the guy's foot on the ropes himself. Now he's mad. And he goes outside. He clears off the announce table. But Seth counters, hits a pedigree. The table's supposed to break, but it's like one of those Japanese tables. It does nothing. And so, they don't have time. They got like 30 seconds left. Throws the guy in the ring, stomps him, pins him, And that was the end of the main event. So Seth moving on next week to old Punk, CM Punk. Which, man, that's going to be interesting. Can you imagine if Punk is expecting the main event of Mania, and then Rock waltzes in again, and Rock is like the main event of night 1, and Cody and Roman the main event of night 2, and Punk's not the main event? Well, things happen in this business, and it's happened to everybody. So we'll see what happens. That's the Raw show. See, Brandon here says, you were right. It was Priest. Thank you.
I'm not doing this.
Doing what? I'm not going to bother with that one. What do you think about the return of Connor?
Well, it was either going to be
185.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with that. It was either going to be
lifting
here,
weights.
Sure. You mentioned Randy Orton yesterday.
Yeah.
Or on your show, you mentioned Randy Orton. Who else? AJ.
AJ's back gigantic.
Connor. You could throw him in there.
Yeah.
In the list of Endeavor TKO athletes coming off an injury, being in the best shapes of their lives. But International Fight Week, it was either going to be then or UFC 300 if they wanted to pull out the big guns for that show. But it appears that it'll be this summer. So I'm sure everybody's going to have their eyes glued to his return. But realistically, I think his days as a top-level championship fighter are done.
God. I was looking at his record the other day, and the last time that he won a fight, okay? The last time that he won a fight was January 18, 2020. Okay? It's now January 2024. He hasn't won a fight in 4 years, okay? Now, that fight that he won against Donald Cerrone was, it was 40 seconds. Like, he just went in there and blitzed him, okay? And Tom, we've seen the people that get the big blitz and everything like that. You don't really know how good you are until you put in some time, right?
Correct.
The last time he put in time and won a fight was November 12, 2016. That's the last time.
Against Nate Diaz.
No, it was Eddie Alvarez.
Oh.
It was Nate Diaz was the decision prior to that. But, yeah, aside from the blitz over Cerrone, he has not won a match since November of 2016. 8 years ago, with the exception of that quick win over Cerrone. So,
you know what I was excited about, Brian?
That
was this past weekend, if you want to talk some mixed martial arts.
Oh, yeah, you saw Ryzen.
Was the big Ryzen show. Unfortunately, no freak show fights on this one, although I would like to throw it out there next year. If Ryzen would like to book the world's biggest guy against me, I'm 100% down to fight that. Whether it's Robert Wardlow or Emmanuel Yarborough sized, it doesn't matter to me. Let's get the biggest guy on the planet.
I would like to see you fight someone Robert Wardlow sized. What was he, like 8'2" or something?
He was like 13 feet tall.
He wasn't 13 feet, you idiot. I'll be back in a moment. Observer Live.
Welcome back to Rent to Own Auto Arena. The next match on tonight's Portland wrestling card. Ed Moondog Moretti versus beautiful Bryan Alvarez. This match is being brought to you in part by Tom Peterson.
What an amazing match we just had. And Tony Kozina and Damon Scythe tore it down. I do not know. Mike Rogers, glad to have you back. LC, I couldn't take much more of them. Mike, glad to have you here. Moondog Ed Moretti, Bryan Alvarez, beautiful Bryan Alvarez in the ring. I have never seen Tony Kozina that upset.
Oh, that was unbelievable. And, yeah, I've never seen him that upset either.
And I'm telling you, if you don't want to be upset, I guess you just look over there and see Miss Rent to Own
Auto.
Yeah, Miss Rent to Own Auto. There she is with beautiful Bryan Alvarez. and she was none too happy last week when Bryan Alvarez was pinned by the grappler 1, 2, 3 in the middle of the ring. I'll tell you, fans, Ed Moretti, veteran 24 years, locking up with beautiful Bryan Alvarez, drives a knee into the midsection, whips him across the ropes, off he comes, another knee, really drives him in. Ed Moretti, Oklahoma roll, there he's got him down, there's a pin, 1, 2, no, almost a 3 count. A move you haven't seen. Miss Rintonato not looking very happy there with beautiful Bryan Alvarez and the effort that he's putting forth tonight. But fans, coming up next in our main event, the Suicide Kings versus Havoc and Mac. Again, double count out last week. Those two teams want to settle the score. Mike Rogers, I'm not sure the arena's big enough to hold them.
Oh, they're going to take off right where they left off last week. And, I don't know if this arena can hold the action that we're in store for in that main event.
Action like this each and every Saturday night, WB 32, 11 p.m., Portland Wrestling. Ed Moretti, the veteran in the ring, whips him into the rope. Drop kick for a big man. Really got up high. There's a pin. 1, 2, hooks the leg. Third man in the ring, Mark Watson, almost with a 3 count. You don't see agility like that very often from a man of that size.
No, he's a big man. There's no doubt about that. And here we've seen 2 moves now that usually would be considered little man moves. The Oklahoma roll and a big drop kick.
And I know Ed Moretti was very upset last week getting pinned in the ring by Robbie Lentz, a rookie. It hasn't happened to Ed in a long time.
And that was quite the upset, absolutely.
Looking to get back on track here. Whips him into the ropes. Oh my gosh, did he hit hard upside down into the turnbuckle. Off he comes. Big back body drop. Beautiful Bryan Alvarez up and down. Miss Rinton really, I think she's looking for someone else already. Splash off the ropes, nobody home. There's the agility. Bryan Alvarez with the Oklahoma roll himself. 1,
roll I just pinned Ed Moretti with right there. That's the father of Shayna, or the uncle basically of Shayna Wayne, and they call him the grandfather of Nick Wayne. But I done beat him. Anyway, it's Robert Wadlow, not Wardlow, and I was wrong, but so were you. 8'11", 8'11". And if you go on the internet, there's a wax statue of him. There's a picture of Shaq standing next to him. He looks like a little kid standing next to this 8'11" Robert Wadlow. And in kindergarten, he was my height. And
there's still hope.
Yeah, I guess there is. I hadn't thought of that. But apparently the second tallest man was John Rogan, who was 8'9". That's a tall guy. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, Robert Wadlow passed away, so you can't fight him in Ryzen. You'll have to figure out who the current tallest man...
How about the other guy?
Who's the current tallest man alive? Do we know?
George Murazan.
I think Wikipedia would have a list of tallest people. Okay. Let's see. Living. They have somebody from the Roman Empire? Come on.
Sultan Kosin in Turkey.
You're right. He is 8'2".
Yeah, Sakakibara.
That's nothing.
Get him on the phone.
8'2". Come on. He has the longest hands for a living person, so he should work on the claw hold.
Well, let's
That's
see
what
if he can get these hands.
Anyway, we're out of time, everybody. Thanks for listening. Back later on tonight, Brian, Benny, Granny, Craig. Sean's ill, so he will not be on the show. But we're going to be talking that Stardom pay-per-view that's up now on YouTube, so check it out. And that's it. We'll talk to you next time, Wrestling Observer Live.